Welcome to the IKF International Workshops podcast, where we explore the pathways and opportunities shaping the future of football talent in India and beyond. Today, we are excited to have Mr. Jonas Sela, the founder of Daryse. Daryse is a 21st century football app that empowers players to showcase their skills, get discovered by top scouts, and help officials find the best talent effortlessly with its powerful search and filtering features. Jonas leads an innovative platform that is revolutionizing how players showcase their talents and skills, connecting with scouts worldwide. Together, we will deep dive into digital innovation and international collaborations with the IKF workshops and Daryse, how they are empowering young footballers to reach their full potential on the global stage.
Yeah.
So, welcome, Jonas. Thank you for making the time for this podcast. Welcome to this show. And I'm really excited to learn more about your background, your footballing journey, your app, and how you got connected with the IKF. But before knowing about your background and your story, I would like to understand your first memory of football and how you got into it. What was it like?
Thanks for the time and thanks for being here, being your guest. Yeah, so my first memory talking about football was definitely so I was born 84. I'm German,
Yeah,
and in 1990, Germany won the World Cup in Italy. And
right.
this was, let's say, my first memory
Yeah,
watching with my parents, with my sisters. Yeah, winning Germany in Italy, the World Cup.
yeah.
My father was also, let's say, a goalkeeper on amateur level.
Oh,
So we started then to observe the goalkeeping playing style. At that time, a super young German goalkeeper, Bodo Illgner from FC Cologne, so our
mm,
local club,
mm.
was, let's say, yeah, the number one for Germany. And this was, let's say, yeah, definitely my first memory.
Nice. So I think you were around the time of Baggio. Like we have all heard of the story.
Roberto
Nice.
Baggio, yeah, so
Yeah,
it's Baggio is definitely one of my childhood hero, even if I was a goalkeeper.
yeah,
Uh, but let's say the World Cup in the USA, 94, yeah, with, let's say, the dramatic final with the penalties
yeah.
is still goosebumps.
Still goes. Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
I'm still, let's say, a fan of the Italian
yeah.
Squadra Azzurra, and Baggio, yeah, one of my childhood heroes.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that story. It really, I mean, sometimes we also connect with your story, with you living. I personally haven't seen, but I can sense the energy. So thank you very much for sharing that story. Now, coming back to your professional background, so you had a great early career in football, uh, and then when did you realize that you should make a career in football? So maybe a glimpse of your experience, your professional experience, your footballing experience, and what led to the development of this particular app.
So my journey was at that time, I would say not comparable to how young players are educated, are prepared for a professional career today. So it was different times.
Yeah,
So the whole academy system in Europe was not really there.
structured.
Um, exactly. So a different world from my understanding. As I said, as I mentioned, I was a goalkeeper, starting playing football with the age of 6, in a local club, in a super small club, 2 times training per week. For sure, after school, I spent the time with my friends playing football with my father in the garden and so on. Yeah, so trying to do more,
Yeah,
and not because I was forced, just because I love the game. Yeah, I love to being outside and playing football with my friends. Then I had the chance to join, let's say, the youth academy, the youth team of 1. FC Köln,
mhm,
1. FC Cologne, so the biggest club in my area at that time. And we had at that time 3 times training per week, sometimes 4, and a game on weekend. And this was, let's say, yeah, when you play for, let's say, a youth team of a professional football club. Cologne was at that time playing in the Bundesliga. The dream starts maybe one day, yeah, with a bit of luck, with hard work, with passion. Maybe one day I can make it also to the big grounds, to the big stadiums. It was a dream. I worked hard. My parents were always
Yeah,
super hard, Jonas. You also have to focus on school
yeah,
because only 1.01%
yeah,
will make it on the professional level.
professional.
Therefore, you have to focus on school. And I think my driver was a passion. It was not, let's say, feeling like work. It was not feeling like pressure. It was not exhausting going to trainings for me. I loved the game. I enjoyed every second on the pitch. And then, yeah, there are always the up and downs in a career. Yeah, when I was 15, I got released from the
Right.
youth system, from the youth academy of FC Cologne. Too small, not good enough anymore. The other goalkeeper was playing for Germany at that time in my age group.
Wow.
Therefore, Jonas, we have to make a decision. So I, let's say, joined a smaller club in my region, back to the hometown, and focused on finishing school at that time. And when I, let's say, finished school with the age of 18, I was able to sign a first contract with Fortuna Cologne, the second biggest club in town, and make my first steps in there in senior and senior professional football. And after 2 years, I signed for Mainz 05. Mainz 05, I think, is now established in the Bundesliga. At that time, they played the
Yeah.
first time in Bundesliga. Our manager, our coach at that time was Jürgen Klopp. Yeah, steps in coaching. I
Wow.
think he made yeah, a world career with Borussia Dortmund, with Liverpool, and so on, winning the Champions League. But we started, let's say, together. Me as a goalkeeper, he as a coach.
Coach, yeah.
So great
Nice.
times.
Nice. Very interesting journey that you had. So, quite a great experience. What was the next step then when you realize, okay, the career is limited. Now, what should I do? So, what did you start? And then we'll talk about the current app that you have built or the current technology that you have built. We'll talk about that as well. So, what were the challenges that you faced? I mean, you mentioned that there were challenges at that time. It was not structured. The football was not structured. Now, football is quite structured, and there's a lot of engagement, a lot of activities going on. So, let's talk about that particular journey.
Um, So the reason, or one of the reasons why I found the rise was, I think in the end is it's all coming to give something back.
Yeah,
I'm super privileged in growing up in Germany,
yeah,
having the support of my family, and also, let's say, from the network here in Germany, access to training grounds, access to a goalkeeping coach, etc. So the environment was supporting
yeah.
development. I'm not talking about a professional career, but definitely supporting development.
Yeah,
And I would say one of the key takeaway from my career was, and I'm talking about the different age levels. Yeah, starting in the youth,
yeah,
making it on the professional level, or to later. Yeah, when I, let's say, in the last year I played semi professional football on amateur level and so on. Um, there are so many talents. There are so many players who work hard, who give everything on the pitch. Um, my learning is talent is one thing, work ethic super important, passion definitely, but in the end you need to have the right network. Yeah, when there are no coaches, no sports directors, no scouts, no agents seeing you, when you have no access to, let's say, people who can boost
yeah,
your career,
yeah,
who can open some doors and also sometimes push you through these open doors, you have no chance. You
yeah,
have no chance. So talent is one thing, but you need a way that people see your talent, full stop.
Right.
And then talking about let's say the status quo.
Yeah.
People are using social media.
Yeah.
And all football players are on Instagram, on TikTok, on
Right.
YouTube, and let's say the official sports directors, agents, scouts as well. I have a very good friend of mine who worked as a scout for VfL Wolfsburg, Bundesliga team. And he told me during the COVID times, Jonas, travel restrictions. I cannot travel anymore. Now I have to find the
Yeah.
next message on YouTube. It's impossible. It's impossible because all these platforms, all these social media platforms are super,
Yeah.
but they're not meeting the scouting purposes. So
Right.
how can you identify on Instagram a 16 years old girl being a defender, being super strong in one-on-ones? It's
Sure.
not really possible. And this was, let's say, my thought process. Yeah, the learning when you want to do the next step. Yeah, you need to work on the visibility towards the people, towards the sports community, and how we, let's say, can create a platform where this is possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, where from the player's perspective, where you easily can create a profile, where you easily can start to, let's say, upload your footage
Mm.
on the one side, and on the other side, yeah, for scouts, for sports directors, where you can, let's say, exactly find what you're looking for. Yeah, I said, yeah, the 16 years old girl from
Yeah.
India playing as a defender, being strong in one-on-ones. And this is possible. This is possible on the rise. This is, let's say, the purpose of the rise. And by that, we are, from my point of view, able to democratize the football world.
Yeah.
There is a famous statement from the FIFA, from the UEFA, of the equal game, but we all know the game is not equal. Yeah? There are dependencies of
True.
where are you coming from. There are dependencies. Are you a boy or a girl?
Yeah.
Definitely, still. And this is what we want to change. This is what we want to change. You just need a mobile phone. Yeah. Yeah. You just need to download the app,
Yeah.
and ask your parents, ask your sister, brother, friends. Yeah. Please record my training. Please
Yeah.
record my game. And then you can start to upload your footage, and yeah, make a next step or make a step towards, let's say, your dream.
Right. Uh, Thank you very much for sharing this journey. And I'm sure the product development phase must have been very tough, right? So building this sort of system where uh, players can record their videos and coaches and scouts can see players' matches and they can identify, the right players for their respective clubs is definitely difficult. And I'm sure it must be the journey of product development must be very difficult. But can you share some of the success stories or some of the inspirations where maybe a coach got a great, fantastic player, or maybe a player's journey was transformed using your app?
So our highlight story is definitely the story of Jay Luca. So Jay Luca is a 16 years old boy
Yeah,
from the Netherlands
yeah,
with African roots. He lived in Rotterdam, and Rotterdam has three professional clubs
yeah.
with Feyenoord, Excelsior, and Sparta Rotterdam. Gianluca never got scouted, and
Mm.
the scouting system in the Netherlands is, I would say, top, really,
Yeah,
really top.
yeah.
But Gianluca never got invited on a trial with a professional club. He starts to use the Rise. He starts to use my app. Created a profile, start to upload, let's say, his videos, his footage. And J. Luca got scouted by an agent who brought him to Lecce, a club playing in the Serie A, so in the first
Nice.
Italian league. Means a life-changing moment for
Absolutely.
J. Luca, for the whole family, dreaming or starting to realize the dream, becoming a professional football player, starts on the rise. We had the story of Eze Gospel, a young 15 years old goalkeeper in UK playing grassroots football,
Right,
never got, let's say, on the radar
right.
on a professional club, got, let's say, or uploaded his footage on the rise, and got scouted by a scout who recommended him to Preston North End Championship. And now
Mm.
he signed an academy contract with FC Everton.
Wow.
A player also playing grassroots football in Germany, signed a professional contract in Portugal, scouted on the app. So all these, let's say, all these stories,
Yeah,
it's a kind of proof, yeah, that the
yeah.
idea, the purpose is
Yeah,
it's there. It's there.
it definitely provides a platform to a young kid, whether it is in Europe or in maybe any part of the world, when
Absolutely.
talents go unnoticed several times, and then technology and your app that bridges the gap, right? So maybe there
Correct.
is a player who can be better than Messi, Ronaldo, or Mo Salah, but your app can bring that you can identify, and I mean, it provides the platform. So definitely it makes sense. So I want to understand this now from the Indian football, young footballers' perspective, right? There are a lot of young talents here in India, and I think the situation is same. They're not getting enough visibility, or they're not getting enough scouting platform. So the only one is India Khelo Football, and they are doing a great job in identifying the kids going to each and every village of India. So my question from the young talent perspective is that what should be my age limit? What should be my prerequisites to upload the video on your app?
So first of all, there is no limit.
Okay,
There is no limit. Our wish is that every person on this planet who loves football
football. Yeah.
and who wants to do the typical next step is invited to join the rise.
Okay.
So we are not saying you are too old enough. We
Right.
are not saying you are not good enough.
Right.
That's not, let's say, the vision of the rise. The vision of the rise is um, you want to do the next step, yeah, and we provide the platform.
Right.
We provide the platform. So we are not, let's say, the judges of you're not good enough, yeah,
Right.
because this is just unfair. This is
Right.
just unfair, and this is not our vision. Therefore, um, you love the game, create your profile, and start to upload your clips. There are definitely looking on the market for sure some kind of best practices. Yeah, right age group is definitely 13, 14 years old as the beginning, definitely. And there are also, let's say, when you reach an age of maybe 30, not so many stories outside, yeah, that you become a professional player with the age of 13. Definitely not.
Yeah.
But we are not a platform promising people you become a professional player.
Yeah.
We want to support you in doing your next step.
Yeah.
And maybe there are people where the next step is, I want to find, let's say, a club in Europe, yeah, in a city where there is a great university, yeah, and I maybe can combine playing
Yeah.
football with in education with going to university. This could be also a kind of next step.
Absolutely.
And yes, we do have cooperations, partnerships with many, many European professional clubs who use the Rise for scouting. Therefore, yes, our target is definitely to support players on the professional path, boys and girls. Super important message. Yeah, equal chances. So we don't want to differentiate. Yeah, only
Yeah.
boys, or only girls are welcomed on our platform. All people who love football have the chance to, let's say, make their next step.
Yeah, at least they have a chance to. I mean, there are a lot of that's so right, because that's something which I have seen in India as well, that people miss out on chances. They leave the game, right? They go for, I mean, not the next best thing, but something else. Like they choose a different job which never aligns with their focus, with their aim. So I think then in that case, your platform basically provides the kids or anyone, a player, football player, a hope to see another, journey. I mean, to make a better journey in the footballing field.
And I think the kids always have the dream to play for the best clubs in the world. Real
Yeah,
Madrid,
of
Manchester
course.
United. Bayern Munich in Germany, and so on. We all know it's super hard to get a contract with
Of
Real
course.
Madrid, definitely. And I think to have that dream is super because this gives you hope, this gives
Yeah.
you the passion, and so on. And I believe there are also, let's say, different paths to get there.
Yeah.
There are so many players, yeah, who are in Germany, who are German, who are not getting a contract.
Mhm.
But we do have partner clubs on the app from other European countries, Denmark, Luxembourg, Netherlands,
Right.
Belgium, yeah, who use the Rise for Scouting. So when you're 19, yeah, fighting for the first contract and you're not getting that contract in Germany, maybe you're perfect in the second league of Denmark. And same goes definitely for players who coming from other countries. Yeah. Maybe the journey from India is not directly signing for Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Maybe your journey is signing for a club in Denmark or
Right.
in the Netherlands
Yep.
or in
Or maybe in
Luxembourg. Yeah.
Cologne.
And then, sorry,
Or maybe in Cologne.
or maybe in Cologne. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then make the next step. So
Yeah.
this is, let's say, one idea of the rise, connecting the world of football, just by, yeah, bringing the people together.
Right. I think
Clubs
it's
are
quite
looking for
practical.
talents.
Yeah.
Clubs are looking for talents, and talents are looking for clubs.
Interesting. Now, next, moving on to this IKF International Workshop. So, I want to understand what's your expectation and what's your hope from this collaboration, and what do you see how it is a good opportunity for young Indian talents who are registered on the IKF platform. So, I'll tell you there are 125 cities which are covered by India Khelo Football, entire India, and I think there are lots of kids who have registered on the platform. So, what is your expectation from this collaboration, and what do you see the future of Indian football?
Um, Good questions. Good questions. So first of all, I have to say, talking about IKF, um, I never met people who are so passionate about that game and who are so driven by we want to support the community and we want to support all the athletes outside. So this is creating goosebumps for me. Yeah, seeing that passion, that yeah, idea of supporting young players and trying to open their doors.
Yeah,
And this is definitely meeting the values of the Rise. Yeah, we want to be a platform. We are a platform where we want to support as many athletes as possible in making the next step. Talking about Indian football in general, what we've heard here in Europe is super fast growing market in
yeah,
terms of football, super interesting, and honestly speaking, at the moment not really on the radar of the clubs in Europe.
right.
And looking on the talents who start to upload their clips, yeah, looking on, let's say, the footage that IKF shared with us, brilliant talents that you have in your country. So congrats to that. And they just deserve a chance. They just deserve a chance to getting seen. They just deserve a chance, access to the community of football.
Yeah,
And here we want to support IKF on that journey, on that mission, and we want to support the Indian players in making their next step.
right. So, that's great. I mean, coming it from you, because you live in the hub of football, there are the best practices followed in your region. And when you say that, okay, there are great talents from India, I think it is quite good for us as Indians to understand, okay, there is talent, and I think we can work hard to make that talent available for this entire footballing community over the globe. As a young kid from India, from a very remote village, who's listening to this or who is watching to this, I'm sure he might not be able to understand the entire concept. What is your message to that kid who's very talented, who doesn't know what is the next step, right? And so, what is your talent that through this IKF International Workshop, first of all, how do they get access to it, and how do they get access to Daryse app? And How, I mean, what is your message for him or her?
So my message is definitely you love the game. Springboard is stepping stone is definitely your talent and your passion for that game. Yeah, you have to work hard because without hard work, it's most likely super difficult to become a professional player. Have trust in your skills. Have trust in your dream, and have trust in IKF. Again, these are top people
Right.
working there who know which are, let's say, the typical right next steps. Therefore, also the partnership with Daryse, bridging to professional football, bridging to Europe and other, let's say, countries. Therefore, have trust to the IKF, let's say, process. You can easily download the app in the App Store.
Yeah.
It's available in India. Start to create a profile and start to upload your footage.
Yeah.
Not 100 videos once and then waiting. It's a process, continuous development.
Yeah.
Create a small clip every week from your training, from your games, and then start to upload your videos and then trust the process.
Right. I think that's important, trusting the process and believing this process. However, there are a few questions from the parents as well. Like Europe for Indian parents is still undiscovered because of many reasons, because of different culture, different language, uh, living expenses, and so many other things. One of them is visa as well. So, what is your message to the parents? Like, I mean, if I as a parent have a doubt for my kid, or like, uh, what is the real opportunity there for their kids, right? So, what is your message to the parents, Indian parents as well?
So my message and our commitment is to the Indian community is that we 100% bring over Indian players to Europe for 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah,
The expenses are covered.
yeah,
The players will have access to a professional network. They're getting education. They're getting trials with professional clubs.
yeah,
It's not a promise that you're getting a contract,
yeah.
but yeah, the message, yeah, opening doors, seeing, let's say, the life of being a professional player
Mm,
in Europe.
mm,
This is definitely our promise. Yeah, for that we start the scouting process. For that we start, let's say, the cooperation with IKF to identify the talents.
right.
And there's a saying in Germany, where there is a will, yeah,
There's a
there's
way.
always ways, yeah, to make it happen. And here, yeah, we are also there to support, yeah, the Indian parents, the
Yeah,
players, and so on, visa topics,
yeah,
expenses, flights, etc., etc. So the commitment is there. We bring over Indian players to Europe starting from October. The next wave, then I would say beginning of next year, somewhere
yeah,
in February, March. That let's say the next players fly over to Europe and give a real chance, yeah, to
yeah.
show their skills, to show their talent, and then maybe signing a contract. This is the target.
Perfect. I think that's perfectly summarized, and this looks quite practical to me, and I hope this is practical for the for the kids, for the parents, and for the Indian footballing community. And we hope we will try to give a strong message to our community that they should use the app, and at least they should go for the IKF International Workshop, and they should try this out so that they can really have a chance to maybe have a platform or an opportunity to play in Europe. So thank you very much for sharing all these details and all the insights. It was really great talking to you, and we'll definitely meet you soon. We want to cover your story personally as well, so we'll try to meet you and learn more about your app. And in the meantime, we will try to promote your app where people can really get a chance in the footballing world.
Many thanks. Many thanks.
Thank you, Jonas.